Hello, dear friends. Welcome to another study of the Spiritist magazine. This is Shane Martin. I'm from the Spirit Society of Richmond in Richmond, Virginia. And here we are with another article from the most recent issue, which is issue 61. We'll talk about spiritual fraternity um, as the spirit Meimei through the by the spirit. Let's make it sure. By the spirit Meimei through the mediumship of Francisco Candido Xavier. As always, dear friend, you can find all of this content, the links to the app, the links to the PDF I'm going to share with you, the link to purchase the physical copy of the magazine if that's what you'd like to do at spiritistmagazine.org. It's always an honor to be here with you. Please make sure we share this for others to take advantage of it. And not only the Spiritist magazine content, but also any content from Kardec Radio and from our Spiritist societies as well. Let's make the good prevalent in the world. Without further ado, I will share the article with you. And today, we'll be talking about spiritual fraternity. If you were to download the PDF version to your computer, this is what you would see. On my computer, I see a series of thumbnails on the side, which allow me to easily toggle through different articles that I'm looking for. I can easily zoom in and out so the letters are easier on the eyes. And for the reason I show you this is so that you can know it's very easy. All we have to do is download the app, download the PDF, and then share, study, like digestion. You eat, there are several parts to digesting the macromolecules into the micronutrients, the building molecules, so that the body can absorb and use it for the physical composition. The teachings of spirits is not the same. We want to take time with them. In this rushed society that is addicted to busyness, to being busy, being doing, going from thing to thing to thing, we need to take some time to look at the teachings of the spirits and take time to meditate and reflect upon them. So this is by the spirit Meimei. The medium is Francisco Candido Xavier. And Meimei starts by saying, let me make sure, I'm only going to share parts of it so we can focus on one-ish paragraph at a time. She says, have mercy on those who are not capable or able to wait. We're not talking about taking the time to breathe, to engage your parasympathetic nervous system, to calm down. Unfortunately, there are so many of these individuals found everywhere. Most of the times they're victims of restlessness and fear. So the title of the book, of the article actually, is Spiritual Fraternity. Because we think about fraternity, right? The love, justice, and charity, right? We think about charity, true indulgence toward others, towards ourselves and others. We are not talking about spiritual fraternity. Just look around and see what we see in this world of trials and expiations undergoing planetary transition. And then we see this. We see people who are not capable of waiting. And we have generations being educated now on instant gratification, meaning we wouldn't pass the marshmallow test. That is a classic way of predicting if someone can wait and delay gratification. She says, have mercy on those because they're victims of restlessness and fear. When we're going through these changes in society, when we feel restless, when we feel fearful, then we start going from thing to thing to thing. How many of us spend our time doing so many things for our professions, for our homes, physical homes, for our family, overscheduling everyone with the goal of degree from Harvard. We have time to do all of that. We're busy because we can't just be content with what we have. Take the time to breathe and realize, what am I here for? Who am I? Aside from the physical body, aside from the titles, the positions, this personality of this lifetime, who am I? What is my purpose? What am I here on the earth to learn? Is definitely not making a bucket list and traveling all around the world, because it's escapism, right? We can't have time to do everything but not nourish ourselves spiritually by doing what we can in our communities and our spiritist centers. How many have not returned? Because now that we want to travel, we want to do things because we feel victimized by not being allowed to move around during the pandemic for public health measures. But friends, we reincarnated on this time for a reason. If we had to collectively frugal a pandemic, there's a lesson for us. And it looks like many of us still haven't learned because the spirit centers still have empty. The food pantries are half empty. The homelessness persists. The child traumas persist. Until everyone in the world is as well as we are, the world is not going to have peace because we are interconnected. The law is of society. Well, if we're not able to wait, we just pray that people can have mercy on us. Are we victims of restlessness and fear? Because we're not here to talk about others. We are here to look at these teachings and see how does that apply to me. In a sense, you're being selfish, but because you're a spirit who is developing in evolution, remember the laws of progress, we can go to questions and answers of the Spirit's Book 100 and see the hierarchy of spirits, and we can plot. We can, same way we make plans, family plans, professional plans, we can make spiritual plans. I came here to learn, and then we look at the second part of that. It's not really a question, it's more of an essay. And you say, what are the characteristics of good spirits that I want to acquire in this life, in the next life, in the next life? With the mercy of God, we'll have many lives here on the earth if we continue with the progress or elsewhere in the universe. Now, she says, Meimei says, observe the number of individuals who have already transposed their own lines of commitments. Some of them can be known as married couples who do not tolerate each other in their first marital dispute, causing them to challenge their union, break their commitment, or embrace risks that many circumstances led to the path of great suffering. How many of us give up? We are a generation of giving up. It doesn't work, someone doesn't say the right thing, I don't like this person, I'll go and quit. But we have to understand, if we were allowed to be together in marriage to one another, to form a family, we need to try. Of course, if there's abuse, psychological, physical, emotional, financial, we have to work on it, search for help, go to the authorities. But if it's just a dispute of which direction the toilet paper faces, we need to keep going. We have a whole generation now who doesn't seem to be able to wait. This is us, because we are fearful. Others are pro-choice mothers who fall to the imbalance of their mental condition, rejecting children they carry in the bosom through the practice of abortion, instead of allowing them to be instruments of the redemption and comfort in the future. We have this debate in this country right now. And how many millions of people have been deprived of reincarnation because we chose to be pro-choice and have an abortion? And yes, it may be someone's body. I am a woman. I have a womb. But it's not your soul inside of you. That soul belongs to God, and we have to be courageous to say it. We're not judging. There are ways for the redemption. But if we did a mediumistic meeting and invited all spirits on the earth who have been aborted, in this case by women, because women are the ones who carry the babies in this current state of the earth, sometimes because of other circumstances, what would those spirits say? Would they also be pro-choice? You chose that they wouldn't come? Because she says, those children could be the instruments of redemption and comfort. All children are instruments of comfort, right? She will continue. She's talking about who? She's talking about the number of individuals who transpose the commitments. Remember, we have reincarnatory plans. And it's not hour by hour, minute by minute, but it's a plan. It's a roadmap. These are things we commit to do. I'll come back with you as your spouse again for the 10th time, 20th time, and this time we'll do it together. And then we fight and we break up again. Or we say, we'll receive you as my child, who I hurt or who hurt me. And then we say, no, I have to do my career. I'm not old enough, don't have money enough, don't have a house big enough. And then I'm pro-choice. And I deprive that spirit of that circumstance. Of course, it's free will. We can choose to break up commitments, and we can choose to have procedures that prevent children from being born. But there are consequences to those actions. There are more than just in this life. Some others are men who neglect their own problems and duties by escaping defined situations. They replace them with excuses of distraction and rest, wasting an opportunity that, once completed, would have eventually brought replenish and relaxation. How many of us says, no, I don't have time to go to the Spiritist Center on the weekends. Or after work, I can't because I'm tired. I have to do dinner. I want to exercise. But in the weekends, I have family time. I want to do barbecues. I want to go to the beach. I want to travel. And then we neglect, we waste time. Because when the pain comes, no amount of vacation is going to help you. But knowing of Christ, knowing of the teachings of the Spirit, knowing your purpose is to improve and to love, knowing that our mission in this universe is given to us uniquely by God, knowing that life goes on and we'll have an account when we return to the spiritual world, which is our true home, knowing that we have many spirits for each and every one of us who are caring for us in this life, who can help us if we are only able to listen to them. These are difficult conversations, but that's why Meimei is bringing it to us. We do rest too much in this society, right? Because if we felt the joy of volunteering, which is already proven by science, as a scientist I can tell you, that volunteering improving your health. So if do it at least for selfish reasons, so you can be healthy and you can stay longer on this planet doing more good. Others are the sick and desperate friends who think of suicide, rebelling against their alleged displeasures of life, only to destroy their resources and opportunities that would be conquered through inner peace. The number of suicides in this country and in the world in general has increased dramatically over the past decades. That is, of those who are sick and desperate thinking of suicide. And if they only knew their life doesn't end when the physical body ceases to support life. I mean, that the technicality of death of the physical body is when life's the cessation of physical life, and then now your spirit will be removed. In some cases, others the spirits stay around and suffer over and over the consequences of the action. Because sometimes we rebel. For many lifetimes, we committed suicide when things got harder. When someone broke up with us, or when we faced financial ruin. But when those things happen, not if they happen. This is a world of trials and expiations, not a divine world. full of Christ spirits. This is you and I. So when things happen to us, knowing of what we know of Spiritism will give us this the moral strength. Not just know of Spiritism, what Spiritism explains to us, but mostly of what Christ came to do. If we can truly live the values of Christ, we would not rebel against the displeasures of life, knowing that pain can be redemptive. Pain is redemptive, can teach us something, can steer us in the right direction. Some others are the youth starving for freedom and pleasure. How many of us know a youth didn't starve for freedom and pleasure? They immerse themselves in the abuse of hallucinogens to escape reality, wasting their faculties in the time that would assist in the construction of imminent happiness. Very, very important topics, the legalization or decriminalization of drugs, right? We are abusing these substances to escape reality. All substances, sugar, fat, alcohol. Do you know that alcohol is a carcinogen? There's no safe amount. Meat is a carcinogen. Nutrition is very, very important. Everything that you come into your body allows you to stay healthier, doing the best we can to maintain the faculties of the body. And hallucinogens are those. If we can only have an interaction with others using, oh, I can only relax. It's social and Michael the obsessor, that was you. Who are we to be exempt? We see in the books of Andrea Luiz very clearly that one glass, one sip of alcohol, and they come and attach to you. In this case, to the gentleman in the book. What are we? Who are we to think we are exceptions? In a sea of people doing happy hour and drinking, we are going to be the exception? Yes, we're going to say, no, thank you. I know the consequences of my actions. Because we don't want to waste our faculties, because if we can only relax if we smoke or drink or use drugs, we have problems. Psychological, emotional, spiritual. Then we have to seek help. We have to seek help of medicine, seek help of psychiatrists, psychologists, counselors at the Spiritist Center. We have to take care of the physical bodies. You're a multidimensional being. There are multidimensional solutions. Interdisciplinary is the word we use these days. Whole health is another one. She says, so let's go back to the beginning. She said, have mercy on those who are not capable of waiting, because sometimes we want to go fast. We want to reach superior spirit without having any trouble. We want our family members and friends and our children to go through life with no difficulties, because it's unpleasant to have difficulties. And then we're not waiting, because if you take away the ability of someone to go through their own obstacles, you're not creating agency, and they're not feeling competent in things. They're capable of doing things. But she's saying, let's be merciful on those who are not capable of waiting. And then she gave us examples: the couples who break up at first difficulty, those who commit abortions, those who neglect trying to distract ourselves, escape for distraction and rest, those who are thinking of suicide, and those who are in the youth who are abusing drugs to escape reality. Now, she says, what we're going to do, because the superior spirit's point is always a very interesting structure. They point an issue, they give us examples, because we can relate to these examples. Either we've been there, we know people who are there, and then they're like, okay, this is what you do. She says, let's do something for the brothers and sisters who ignore or disregard the benefits of serenity and hope. Remember, the title of this is Spiritual Fraternity. Let's affirm phrases of optimism and encouragement. Write little inspirational notes of blessing to live and serve. Show spontaneous gestures of sympathy and kindness. Practice constant acts of thoughtfulness enjoying the discourses of peace and solidarity with friends. This is the beautiful, clear what to do today. How many of us go throughout the day staring down into our phones? We don't notice those who suffer. We don't say good morning to people. We don't open doors for them. We don't look around to help. People are surprised when you ask a question you want an answer, or you mention their names if they have a name tag. When you say thank you, when you're kind, you show spontaneous gestures of sympathy and kindness. We are losing this ability. So we know we need to do this. It's imperative that we live together, the law of society. It's not the law of isolation. Jesus came and did all he did, but he wasn't alone. He didn't create the earth alone. In the book, In the Way to the Light, Emmanuel tells us an assembly of spirits meet, and every day millions of spirits are working, billions. There's 8 billion of us, plus our, incarnate. We each have a mentor. We have our family of spirits, and we also have our obsessor friends, plus everyone else, plus the spirits who take care of the animals, the plants, the soil, the air, who are guiding the evolution of the planet under the guidance of Christ. So Christ came, and when he was incarnated in the body of a man, Jewish man, 2,000 years ago, he assembled a group of disciples that, if you go look at the New Testament, are just like you and I, flawed, but they improved. They answered the call. They answered the call of the Messiah, followed him, and did their part. Did their part. And this is our part here. Phrases of optimism and discouragement. How many times you go, people don't subscribe, don't share, but put a negative comment or put a negative thumbs down, which doesn't help the algorithm. We are here together based on technology, and technology needs relevant. What's relevant gets shared, what's relevant commented on. Inspirational notes of blessings to live and serve. We can do that on our WhatsApp, on our texts, to our friends and family. Little notes. Read the message from Happy Life and send a voice message to someone. Constant acts of thoughtfulness. We're thinking about people. We see them as individuals. We listen for what they're needing. We drive around with an attitude of service, not to be served entitled. Joining discourse of peace and solidarity. How many people get together and only discord, fighting and arguments? Nobody's changing their minds. We're talking over each other, at each other, but we're not having a conversation. We're having two dialogues, monologues. I yell at you, you yell at me back, but we're not connecting. And she says, do not underestimate your possibility to contribute. You can contribute. You have a unique set of skills, live in a specific part of the planet, and you can contribute. Nor overschedule all of your hours full of responsibilities and services. This is what we do. We overbook ourselves, thinking that being busy is what's going to take us, because we have about productivity. We don't have time to think. We don't have time to meditate. We don't have time to read a good message, but we did all the stuff in our calendar. Check, 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 check. But, she says, do something for the uprightness of the good. Jesus is in great need of good workers. There's so much works in the good that can be done today. Jesus is just waiting for us, because you can contribute. Do not underestimate yourself. In the end, those who love make the time for a spiritual fraternity. That's the spiritual relationship building that we are doing here together, to remind ourselves of the importance of being in communion with Christ, ultimately in communion with everyone and everything that is to be. Dear friends, this is an overview of this beautiful Oh, apologize. I have to say, this is from the book A God Awaits by Meimei. By Meimei, through Francisco Candido Xavier. Vanessa Saloni has done a full study on the Facebook page or YouTube channel of Kardec Radio. You go there and check it out. Download issue 61 and enjoy, read, reread. Let's see what we can do to make this planet a better one each and every day. Let's seek the good, visualize the good, feel the good, and mold the good. Excuse me, Emmanuel, for paraphrasing you in the book Foreign Life, chapter 10. Dear friends, it's always a blessing and an honor to be with you. Until next week, God willing, I'll be back with you. Until then, stay well, stay safe. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.